So, when I was in high school and I was about 16 years old in Brooklyn, I was a very charismatic young lady. And my humanities teacher at my high school absolutely adored me. And I found out that my humanities teacher was in a relationship with this other teacher who worked in the Bronx. Trust me, this is all going to tie back to why you have to be bad to manifest love. So, in the Bronx, there was a school and they had a school trip where they would go to Europe. They went to Paris, Brussels, and Amsterdam. I have no idea how I did this, but I convinced them to take me on this trip. This was not my high school. I didn't take French class. It was like a French trip. But again, I was charismatic. My teacher adored me. So I ended up going on the school trip, wasn't even my school. So here I am, 16 years old in Paris on another school's school trip. I do not speak French, by the way. I speak Spanish. So here I am, I'm 16 years old, and they had like I knew a couple of the kids in the class, but they already had their cliques, they already had their high school thing, everybody knew each other. And I was just kind of like on the outside, but enjoying the vibes and down for adventure. So there was a guy there and he really liked this girl. Again, they went to school together in the Bronx. So he really, really liked her. She didn't like him at all. We're in Paris. We're at this bar, restaurant thing, and some Parisian locals started trying to talk to her. And she wasn't really giving them any flavor, but they were approaching her. Now, this guy from her school who really liked her, he stepped in. Mind you, he's from the Bronx, okay? You know Bronx men. And he stepped in and had some words. Again, they were drinking. And then they stepped outside and they fought. And what happened when they went outside was that the Parisian local guys, they took a beer bottle, they cracked it. So there's a like, big piece of glass. And they went whop. And they hit him in the face and they kind of like cut him from here to here. So this guy is laying, he's like touching his face because he's drunk. He doesn't feel how much damage he has. He doesn't feel the pain. And he's like bleeding in the street. All the people who went to school with him, what did they do? They ran away. All of them. Mind you, I don't know this kid. I'm the only one that stayed. I'm the only one that looked at him like I'm not going to let him just bleed in the street like an animal. So basically, I stayed. Mind you, I don't speak French. I'm in a foreign country. So I don't know how I did this. I ended up like getting the ambulance or whatever. The ambulance are telling me, make sure he doesn't fall asleep. So I'm asking him, like, he's told me he's like into Tupac. So I'm like rapping Tupac to him to keep him awake. Finally, we get to the hospital. The doctor, there was one of the doctors was from Chicago. I'll never forget. And he had glasses. He was like, hey. And when he spoke English, it was just like, finally, I felt relief. I felt happy. I felt like I could cry because it was a very scary moment. But anyway, he ended up being fine. They stitched him up. The next day, he was like, Maya, you're my angel. I love you, whatever you need. And we ended up becoming really good friends. We went through the whole trip together. Then we got back to the States, started hanging out, and we were really good friends. But I noticed that, let's call him Sean. Sean had a pattern. I noticed that he would often drink and he would often fight. And so I remember one time he picked me up I was modeling and I had a runway show and then he picks me up. We were on the Upper West Side, like walking around. So on the Upper West Side, they have these Korean markets where they have fruit and they have flowers and different things, and it's open 24/7. There's always someone outside making sure that no one steals anything. So he, Sean, was drinking, wanted to fight someone. So he starts picking a fight with the guy who's outside, like guarding the fruits and stuff. And that guy, he was ready. He goes, Diablo. And he put the beats on Sean. Basically, he got his ass whooped again. So my point is that Sean had a pattern. He had this internal anger that he only let come out when he was drinking. We all, this is a very extreme example, but we all have patterns. We all have these internal loops that we play out, and we're not always conscious of them. That is an extreme example, but all of us have this in our life. And what it stems from, and what I want you to think about, and what I want you to ask yourself is, when I was little, ages 0 to 7, who did I have to be in order to receive support and love, or acceptance and love, or approval and love from my parents, from my caretakers, from my family? Because oftentimes that who we had to be when we were little, who we created in our minds, I need to be more like this to get their approval. I need to be more like this to get their love. That is a pattern, it's a mask that we wear. Some of us, that pattern is to be the one who eases tension. Like that was me. So my parents divorced when I was 5. They separated when I was 5. It was not a easy peasy lemon squeezy divorce. It was a lot of big feelings, yelling, a bit of chaos, a little drama. And so I assumed that I had to be the one who eased the tension. There was a lot of tension in my household. So if I just eased the tension, if I just stayed a bit small, didn't ask for too much, if I just if there was tension and I was the one to just ease it on out, then I would be more loved, or then I would be more accepted, or then I would get more approval. That was the loop that I learned. For other people, it could be perfectionism. You had to be perfect. You had to be put together. You had to stay small. You couldn't ask for too much. Maybe you, as a child, you had like a big personality. You had a lot of emotions. You were fiery. You wanted to be the center of attention. And everyone told you to sit your ass down. Everyone told you to simmer down, sit down somewhere. You're doing too much. So you internalize that as, if I stay smaller, then I will be loved. Then I will get their approval. And so what happens is that that pattern then represents and it shows up in our life when we are seeking love. We tend to play out that pattern in order to receive love from another person, because that is how we essentially receive love as a child. But here's the catch, is that that's not really you. That pattern, like I was talking about my friend who had the anger inside of him, in order to be bad to him, because he's a macho man, he's like, he listens to Pac, and he's, from the Bronx, and he was in a gang and everything. Like, in order for him to be loved and accepted, he couldn't express his anger. He couldn't talk about it in a healthy way. He couldn't say, I'm hurt. He couldn't, go to therapy. Like, that was bad to him. That was soft to him. That was not acceptable for him. For some of us, being bad is being a little chaotic. If you are a control freak, if you like everything to be perfect, if you are like, everything has to be like this, being bad to you is being a little messy, being a little carefree, being a little chaotic, being a little letting go, letting things go with the flow. And so the more that we lean into what we perceive as bad, the more we get to fully express who we truly are. And when you express who you truly are, is when you become more magnetic because you're being your full self. Because people can feel on a deeper level, there's nothing that you're hiding, there's nothing that you're masking, there's nothing that you're performing. So for me, if I was the one that had to ease the tension in the household, now my job is to, when there is tension, to let it be tense, to not be the one to come and soften the whole thing, to let things get tense, to let things get murky, to let things get uneasy, that those feelings are okay, that it's not my job to ease it all the time. Even Will Smith in his autobiography, he spoke about this because he comes from a household where there was domestic violence. And so what did he do? What was his pattern? It was to tell jokes. Again, easing the tension, softening the vibe. And so all of us have these patterns. And if you meditate on who did I have to be in order to be loved and accepted, and realize that that part of you that you're suppressing is actually your natural state, and being your natural state, being your natural self. Maybe it's because maybe you had to be a people pleaser, you had to be nice. This is like a lot of, if you think about the South and Southern culture, like you have to be really nice, you have to smile, you have to be warm all the time. So being bad is being a cold bitch. But sometimes you want to be, that's your truth. You want to be a bitch, you know? So allowing yourself to be fully expressed, allowing yourself to be bad. I know people who, like, you can tell when you have a trigger, like if somebody triggers you, especially if you're someone who, like if someone's taking up space and it bothers you, if someone's really loud and they're just taking up space and they're being confident and they're just being themselves and it bothers you, it's like, oh, she's doing too much. Check yourself on that. Sometimes they are doing too much, but sometimes it is actually because you have not given yourself permission to be big. You have not given yourself permission to take up space because your pattern was sit down, be smaller, don't ask for too much. You had to be perfect. You had to be pleasing. You had to be palpable, meaning you had to be smaller so that other people could digest you better, could understand you better. And so when you are fully yourself, when you meditate on when you were a little girl, who you really were, what your dreams were as a little girl, what was your energy like? Maybe you were really big. Maybe you wanted to be a star. Maybe you wanted to be and take up space. Maybe you wanted to shine and someone made you feel like shining was not safe. Someone made you feel like being yourself, being who you truly are was not good, was not acceptable. You will not get love that way. We internalize it. And so the more that we come back to that little girl who was being exactly who she wanted to be, who knew exactly who she was before the world told her to be something else, that little girl is your magnetic woman. She's the seed of that magnetic woman. She's the seed of that magnetism. And the more that we bring her out and soothe her and allow her to feel safe and allow her to feel safe to be seen, the more that you will embody this magnetism. But you have to allow yourself to be bad. You have to allow yourself to push the edges of what you're comfortable with, who you're comfortable being, and know that that magnetism exists within you is the magnetism that's going to call your divine love to you because you're fully expressing yourself. When we're in our pattern, when we don't allow ourselves to be our full self, when we have these masks and these shadows, and the more dense your energy becomes, the more that you will attract someone who is more on a predatory vibe, someone who realizes that you don't feel comfortable fully being yourself, and so they play a pattern into you. And it's kind of like they can feel it or they can smell it. They can smell that insecurity. They can smell that there's a hole inside of you and you have a little hole, and that's where they can come in and manipulate you, give you what you need, love bomb you. And so, this meditation on being bad, this meditation on your inner child is the medicine to becoming magnetic and to allowing that magnetism, that energy that is truly yours to broadcast out into the world wherever you are. And then that broadcast then brings to you healthy love. That is all for now. My name is Maya Luisa, and I'm in the messy middle of reinventing my space, of moving. And I was going to wait until the move is finished, and I was going to wait until everything is perfect. And I'm like, you know what? Let me show up in the messy middle of all of it. No makeup, just vibes, because it's important to get these messages out to you. Sending you so much love. If you'd like to work with me, all the links are in the description. Peace and love. See you next time.